This is Matthew Mercer, and you're listening to Code Name Epic.
Games, comics, anime. Code named Epic.
Games. As far as video games go, I'm the voice of Fei Long in Street Fighter 4, Striker in Mortal Kombat. I've done a bunch of bosses in World of Warcraft. Worked on No More Heroes 2 as Skeletor Helter. I'm currently working on Guild Wars 2 as one of the playable races. And I have a character in Soul Calibur 5 that I can't confirm yet. And a couple other projects coming up that are really excited about. So primarily though, right now the big project I'm working on is the new Thundercats reboot on Cartoon Network as the voice of Tigra, which has been a childhood dream come full circle. I grew up on Thundercats. Like I still have in storage a bunch of my action figures from back in the day with the little battery you stick in the back and the eyes glow, and my plastic sort of omen, so it makes the cool little shing sounds when you swing it. So that was a large part of my childhood, and so I specifically recall when the audition came in for this project that I geeked out immediately. It was like, I have to book this. I remember it's about a month later. It takes usually anywhere from 2 weeks to a month to hear back if you booked a gig or not. And about 4 weeks went by, and I began to get a little solemn. Oh well, it was worth a shot. Then I got a call from the agency, and the next 10 minutes were a blur, but mostly it was a bunch of cartwheels. And the bruises the next day showed how excited I was, but no, and so far it's been just an absolute blast of a project. And I can go into that a little more later on, but anyway, I want to also include the fact that I began animation and video game, getting into that industry as a fan. A lot of people go into it as a performer, just kind of falling into it. There's a lot of people that I work with that are very much trained in Juilliard and did all they're classic theater trained for 20 years, and they don't really know much about the games they work on. It's a gig. I've myself trained as an actor as well, but I grew up a very hardcore video gamer.
How long did it take you to figure out what kind of character you best portray?
Best for what?
How long did it take you to figure out what kind of character you could best portray?
Best portray? Well, a lot of it's just practice and kind of voice matching existing characters or having ideas for that. And a lot of it's getting second opinions. I mean, you can audition for many things, and it takes a while for a director to tell you, like, this is your range, or you're really good at this. And primarily, you don't really know that until you see what you start booking. Once you start booking projects, and like 4 projects in a row, you're the 18 to 20 young hero. You're like, okay, that's probably what I'm good at then. If you end up booking the Stanley Whiplash old British villain 4 times in a row, you're like, I'm probably really good at that. So it's kind of a trial and error thing, and second opinion from directors who have experience, and after hearing you read a few times can be like, okay, I see where your range is, you're good at these archetypes, which is why workshops are really good. A lot of experienced casting directors can give really good feedback after you do a few reads on both what you're really good at, what you need to work on, and what your speciality is in voiceover. And a lot of times it's something close to your normal voice. I mean, for the most part, any voiceover, what your normal voice is primarily what you're going to be cast as. And then from there you can build off of it. Unless you're, really good at celebrity voice matches, which is an industry in itself. I've gone in for a couple of voice matches. One's for Brad Pitt, which, for the record, that man mumbles like you wouldn't believe. Like, great on screen, but if you just listen to the audio sometimes, he's just all over the place. That's the only time I've ever gotten direction from a director. It's like, that was great, make it less good. Make it messier, so that was unique. But just through experience and second opinions is kind of the best thing. I'm trying to branch off a little bit into more character-y stuff as well. I've been practicing my kind of almost Ian McKellen, old British sage voice, which is close to actually Jaga from Thundercats. That these hot days of peace and prosperity on planet Earth, that kind of a thing. So it just comes through practice and listening. But yeah, so that's that.
I've been taking voice acting classes from Crispin Freeman.
Oh, cool. Kristen's great.
What type of voices are toughest for you?
Toughest for me?
Yeah.
Female. To the point where I don't do it. Toughest? Let's see. Very, very, very young kids. Like very young kids. Like, let's go ahead and give me 12. I'm like, okay, hold on. Adjust yourself.
maybe around 16,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
not
there's
12-year-olds.
certain players you can do younger, you can do kind of teenagerish, be a little more in their face, but then eventually it just gets kind of ridiculous. And it doesn't sound right.
That's when they hire women to do boy voices, like Tara Strong, who does all of them in every cartoon ever. I really enjoy doing like big guttural, angry demon voices, and it's really fun. But like after an hour, you're done. You know, it's like, yeah, I will destroy you. Could an hour later, it's like, I'm fun. I gotta take a break. And I recently found this really awesome Chinese cough syrup. It's like Nim Palm something. It's a long name. It's like this larcot syrup stuff that just coats your throat and helps you maintain that type of, you know, really abrasive voice for a long time, and it tastes good.
I've noticed after practicing, what's that little thing in the back of your throat that gets inflamed after a while doing rough voices?
Probably the uvula. Uvula, which is a fun word to say.
It literally feels like there's a balloon stuck in your throat, basically.
You should get that checked out. That's not normal. And that can be just like learning to place your voice in a different place too. Like if your voice is starting to constrain up there, maybe just learning how to maybe place it differently in the throat so it doesn't, you know, quite damage that part of your voice as much.
Kind of. Well, first I was going to add that Mike Patton himself has gotten into the voiceover thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also, do you on backing up on that topic of guttural voices, do you ever string your vocal cords?
It does happen. On the Mike Patton bit too, it was really exciting knowing his music for so long. I was like, man, this guy has to get into voice acting. He did an entire album called Adult Themes for Voice, which is just his voice. He did like multiple layer tracks of him doing beats and weird sounds and just like animal snarls and then making songs out of it. He's a weird guy. But like for the longest time I was like, why isn't he getting into voiceover? And then he did a voice in Portal, reverse Portal. He was the anger sphere at the end when you're fighting GLaDOS. The one that's like, oh. And then he did the voice of the actual darkness in the Darkness games, and then he was in the new Bionic Commando with the hot dog arms that nobody liked. He was the main guy in that. But to answer your question, yes, a lot of military games especially can be very straining on the voice because it's 4 hours of yelling over and over again, you know. Bogey, 12 o'clock! Bogey, 2 o'clock! Bogey, 3 o'clock! Cut to 2 hours later, you're like, behind the red van! Behind the blue van! Behind the green van! Behind the taco truck! Behind the taco stand! Behind the taco guy! But, you know, it's just so much yelling for 4 hours and your voice gets strained. So a lot of times you have to be constantly drinking water. You have to find some way to help keep your throat from receiving too much damage, which is why I use that throat coat stuff. It works really well. Like a lot of singing throat sprays work really well. And a lot of times your agent won't try and book you a session back to back after a military session. You know, usually that'll be like, you do that and you have a day off to recover. So, but yeah, it does get strained.
Alright, hello, this is Maestro Please from Codenamed Epic, and here we are with Mr. Matthew Mercer.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So let's start with the basics. Where did you, like, study your craft, pretty much?
Well, locally in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I guess originally studied just being a geeky kid playing a lot of video games and watching cartoons. And then just got involved in a lot of community theater, began doing more acting workshops, scene study, character workshops, and general acting career preparation in general. But I've always had a fascination and a love of animation, video games, and cartoons, and all forms of voice acting. And so when I had an opportunity to start focusing on that as an alternative or as an additional avenue, it became my focus. And so that's kind of where that all branched from and where all my original training geared towards it.
Oh, okay. So since you're such like an avid video gamer and anime fan, do you kind of find it as a block sometimes when you're trying to make some sort of character?
It's hard not to attribute characters to existing ones you know about. Like, oh yeah, this is kind of like a touch of Chris Redfield with like a hint of Barrett thrown in there, which would be a very interesting combination, by the way. But I don't think necessarily find it a block. It's a good point of reference. Because a lot of times you aren't given a lot of time to prepare for a character necessarily when you come into the booth for a project. So it's good to be like, okay, so he's kind of like this character, but I'll make him angrier, or I'll make him younger, but with a little more of an awestruck aspect of his view of the world, or So it doesn't actually. I haven't had it hinder. If anything, it just becomes a better, quick reference.
Quick reference. That's good. So So, as you said earlier, you play one of your childhood favorite characters in the Thundercats. You play as
Tigra.
Tigra. Could you give the audience at home a feeling of what Tigra's like?
What Tigra's like?
Yeah.
Tigra, he's a very interesting character. As opposed to the usual heroic characters, he's the adopted prince of the Kingdom of Thundera. So he's the older brother of Lino, the main character. He's in his mind older, stronger, better in all respects to be the king, but because he's not a blood, he can never be king. So he has this rivalry, this like pseudo jealousy with what his brother is receiving without having earned it, where he feels he's more right for it. And that builds this very interesting rivalry dynamic with him and Lino. And his character is generally a little more dark because of that. He has this kind of little bit of dark twinge to his personality. He's a little more smarmy, a little more swagger, Han Solo-esque bit to him. So that's been a really fun character bit to work with. Plus, he just has a lot of really fun one-off lines with invisibility power, like was it like, "Now you see me, now you don't," things like that.
Do you like that you're bringing back Thundercats for this new generation of kids?
I'm adoring that greatly. Partially because it's should we take that one from the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you like how you're reintroducing Thundercats to this new generation of kids?
Very much so. For me, because it was my childhood as well, it's really cool to see more and more kids running around with like t-shirts with the symbol on it, or kids shouting things like Thundercats, oh, it just like brings a little warm fuzziness back to my heart. But also one thing about it that's been really, and I didn't even think about it originally, a lot of the fans have been appreciating the fact that it's a show that they can watch with their kids. Now that they're all grown up and have a family, they can sit down and get excited about watching Thundercats with their sons and daughters every Friday night. And so it's become like a family, planned family experience every week. And that to me, I think is really awesome. I look forward to one day having kids that I can sit down and be like, all right, we're going to go ahead and watch this cartoon together because we're both excited about it.
Like, I already know about all of this. I can tell you more about it, like sort of thing, right?
Exactly. Or vice versa. The kids can be like, I love that character. And I'm like, oh, they changed it from the original. I don't like what they did. You know? There's that variation too. But so I think it's a cool little emerging element to the fan base that I wasn't expecting.
So you've also played a lot of video game characters. You've played Fei Long, and as we've discussed in our other panel earlier, when you did Fei Long, it's pretty weird because Fei Long is obviously like a Bruce Lee-esque character. What did you take from that sort of character in order to add your own spin on it?
Fei Long as a character is a little more. Oopsie doodle. Take that again. Okay.
And
I know.
I was like, I'm trying to clarify the question there. So when you did Fei Long, what did you add to it to make it more you, or did you add anything of your own personal traits to make Fei Long either your own Fei Long or just the same old Fei Long that we've seen?
I tried the best I could to give him a little bit of a different spin. I mean, Fei Long, as far as personality-wise or voice-wise, the only real reference we have is the Japanese or the Street Fighter 2 animated movie, which came out in like the late 90s, which I love. That's my favorite anime. And so I took a little bit of inspiration from that, actually, and also just thinking he's a very serious-minded person who's a little arrogant, like quietly arrogant. He's not bragger. He isn't very loud about it. But if someone were to challenge him, he'd be like, "Oh no, I would destroy you." So there's a little bit of like that collected, calm, self-confidence over self-confidence.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I put too much of myself into it, but more than I just took bits of what I liked that currently existed and then gave it a little more of an internal spin, less volume, more like. He thinks he's as cool as he sees himself portrayed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've seen the animation for Street Fighter also when it was here, and then I always saw Fei Long as like the really braggart martial arts person. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kick your butt, wah, that sort of stuff. And then I just found it a lot different when I played Street Fighter 4. I was like, oh yeah. Another thing that I'd like to ask. Let's see. Another thing would be, how does it feel like to be pretty much immortalized through video games and through like anime and animation? Because your voice is immortalized pretty much once it's there.
I think it's cool. I like it. I mean, until we're all living in a Fallout 3 world where everything's radiation and destroyed and there's no electricity, in which case my voice is forever lost. Until then, I'm cool with it. No, I haven't put much thought to that actually. I haven't really put that aspect of the longevity of it together, and we'll see. I mean, it could be 30, 40 years from now, we'll have conventions where people talk about we'll have me as a guest. The voice of Tigra, the Thundercats reboot, and I'm this old dude in the corner, like, eating my cereal, and just wishing somebody would say hi. That's very much a possibility. But, it's exciting. It's exciting to think that that I've added something to society that'll hopefully stand the test of time for a while.
Do you have any tips for other voice actors that want to get into the business?
First and foremost, be an actor. It's one thing to have a lot of really, really silly voices and be good at doing voices, but the base of that is to be an actor. So take classes in character study, scene study, interpreting copy, all the various elements of learning how to really embody a character's personality that is different from your own. And then the voices is just an additional layer on top of that. And because primarily, like, there are some games I've done where there have been really, really emotional moments that you have to portray realistically. And video games especially, where everyone's already scrutinizing the voiceover, like, you have to really, really be able to give a believable performance with just your voice. And so the skill set required to get there is a lot more intense than people give it credit for. So first and foremost, become an actor, or spend time working on your craft as an actor before you go ahead and start pushing yourself into voiceover auditions. You may have a chance, but your chances are going to be a lot better at not only booking a gig, but then being able to perform a really, really quality gig and get more work down the road if you have that experience before you.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
This interview.
This is Kay with Codenamed Epic here at PMX's Artist Alley, and here we're with...
I'm Elia-chan, or Elia.
And this is Elia's stuff, which looks amazing because I can't ever hope to make some of this. Anyway, so what makes your stuff different from everyone else's here?
Well, I think I'm the only one actually with cat ears this weekend. I also have handmade Lolita headdresses, and I think one bow left, and some fabulous kitty ear hoods in lots of different colors. Everything on the table is handmade by me, and just a lot of love goes into it. And I have a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun coming up with these things and putting them together.
All right, cool. So what got you started on making this stuff to begin with?
Actually, what got me started particularly making the kitty ears, and the reason I'm so excited to be here this weekend is the lead singer of D, Asagi, has his kitty alter ego, Miyasagi. And so I made the kitty ears to go with Miyasagi. So now I am Seventh Rose Miyasagi. And so I'm super excited to be here at the same convention with my booth at the convention that they're playing at. And the frilly headdresses I got into, I wasn't too thrilled with, like, the shape of some of the other ones I seen, even some of the brand ones, and so I kind of came up with my own pattern and do a little bit of my own style on them, and they're a lot of fun. You can use them to accessorize just about anything.
All right, cool. So do you have a contact site or place where our viewers can reach you if they are interested in some of your merchandise?
Absolutely. I am on Etsy. The site is Dimensions, DEMENTIONS.etsy.com. And I'm also on Facebook, and that's Dimensions by Elia-chan, all one word. So it's DEMENTIONS by BY Elia-chan, ELYACHAN. And do come and find the Facebook page and like it, and then find the Etsy site. And once I take it off of vacation mode, I'll be putting a coupon code up on my Facebook page through the end of the year in celebration of PMX and seeing D. Oh my God, sorry, fangirl moment. Don't mind me.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Hope you have luck with everyone buying your merchandise and enjoy the rest of PMX.
作りたいんだけどね、なかなか作らせてもらえなかったりします。こいつに作らせたらどうなるかわからんみたいな。
I would very much love to work on any of those stories, but a lot of producers are reluctant to do that because they say there's no telling what Imagawa will do to the story if we let him do it.
ただ、ジャイアントロボに関しては、最後まで、物語の最後までをちょっとビデオ版とは違う形で、進めてます。今、その連載では最終章に入っています。
But as for Giant Robo, though, the conclusion of the story is ongoing in a slightly different version from the anime, and so the final chapter is currently ongoing.
G ガンダムに関してはアメリカの方にはとても素直に受け入れてもらったので、嬉しく思ってます。で、今漫画版でテレビ版では語られてなかったような裏のお話だとかを構築しながら完結に向かってそうですね、なんていうか、再構築した漫画を進めてます。
And I'm really glad that American fans like G Gundam. So the manga version of G Gundam is ongoing. With episodes that augment what's happening in the TV show.
なんとかして G ガンダムも続編をやりたいなとは思ってますね。頭の中にあるんですけどね。
And I do hope that there will be an opportunity to do a sequel to G Gundam. I certainly have the plot in my head.
じゃあ次、右から。
Okay, let's go from right to left.
僕はとにかく古典映画は大好きです。
I really love classical film.
そうですね。やはりドラマとしてはそのベルイマンだとか。ニキータ・ミハルコフ、わかりますかね。テオ・アンゲロプロス、ギリシャの監督ですね。やはり僕はね、アニメを作っていくときにはね、一番大事なのはテーマだと思ってるんです。そのテーマをものすごく重厚に大切に作っているのが、僕はヨーロッパ映画には特に多いと思うんですね。
And I really love classical film myself, and directors like Insight Bregman, Nikita Mikhalkov, and the Greek director Angelopoulos. And I think theme is crucial to film, and I think European cinema is the one that really takes themes very seriously.
やはり僕らはフィルムを作ってますから、その中に世界があって空気があって、そこに登場する人物はやはりちゃんとした人間がいて、ドラマをそれぞれ持ってるはずです。それを大事にやっぱり描く、外さない、軽くは扱わない、それが大事だと思ってるんです。で、それの僕の中で作品を作るときに、文鎮というかその重しにしてるのが今言ったような監督の名前で、人間フィルムの中でも僕ら実際の人間も当然ですが、フィルムの中に登場する人物も必ず人間だからそれを軽んじてはいけないんだと。そこから登場人物をちゃんと描くようにしないといけない。その時に気をつけてるのは むしろ僕漫画とかアニメって見なくなったんです、この仕事を始めてから。
And so, as a filmmaker, within the world of film, they have their own world. There's air in there. The characters are real people, and each of the people, the characters in film, have a story of their own that needs to be told. And so, the European filmmakers that I just mentioned, those are my anchor points, and that's where I take the film, see the people in there. I do not take their stories lightly, and they need to be properly depicted. So actually, when I started working in the anime industry, I stopped reading manga and watching.
I'm here with
Jeff Trebs.
And this is his stall over here at Artist Alley at PMX. Now, Jeff, what makes your stuff different from everyone else's here?
Well, we've got a lot of original comics. My own, actually, Samurai Genji, trying to get that picked up. We also have some really cool art books, one with a really nice tutorial if anyone's interested. Put a lot of effort into it myself.
And how did you get started with graphic design?
Actually, I took a cartooning class at a community college, and that kind of just opened my eyes and made me realize, like, wow, I want to get paid to do this. So ever since then, just drew as much as I can. Finally got to a professional level, started getting some money coming in, and yeah, here I am. It's good, feeling good.
All right, well, do you have a site where our viewers can contact you if they were interested in your stuff?
Yes, I do. I'm actually on DeviantArt. If anybody wants to find me, it's dinmoney.deviantart.com/gallery/.
All right, well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of PMX.
Hey, thank you. Thank you guys out there.
I originated the character of Zack, the Black Ranger, whose specialty was hip-hop keto, a dance style of my own, and I donned the power of the Mastodon from my power. He's my Megazord, which is pretty cool. After I had the Rangers, I've done a number of other jobs. Everything, I was on a couple of different series. I was on a series called Space Cases.
On Nickelodeon?
On Nickelodeon, yeah, absolutely.
I saw you on...
the character Harlan Band. Harlan Band.
It was like, kind of like Star Trek Voyager?
Absolutely, it was kind of like a Star Trek for kids. And I was Captain Kirk, yeah, love that. So, that was pretty cool. I left that show and went on to do a show with Aaron Spelling, the late Aaron Spelling, called Malibu Shores. And one of the coolest things about that job is I got to hang out at Aaron Spelling's house all the time. I used to go over there to the mansion and hang out with Randy and Tori and swim in the pool and bowl in the bowling alley downstairs and play with the pinball machines that Mr. Spelling had of the various shows he'd done, which was pretty exciting. You, sir?
Just on that note, you said you were able to change that and you changed the food. Were you given like that much freedom to make Zack more like you, or to make Zack the kind of Zack you would wanted him to be?
Was I given the freedom to change Zack's character to be more like what I chose him to be? As an actor, you generally do get some license, because in the creative process, what happens is the actor, you come in and you audition for the role, right? You audition, and every person is an individual with individual quirks and personality, and I got hired because they liked what I brought to the character. So as an actor, I have a bit more say-so, and then the director comes in, and the director kind of puts it all together, takes all the personalities and puts them together and makes them be in different circumstances along with the writer and the script. So there were some times where I would go, my character wouldn't do that. If Bulk was standing right here and he was about to hit Trini, I wouldn't just stand here behind Trini and just watch it happen. I would jump in front of her because that's who I would. That's what Zack would do. And so I definitely had input into what my character would do in certain circumstances and situations. And dating Angela, you know, like I was the shy guy, and you know, and so if they were like, "You're gonna do this," I would be like, "I would probably do it this way." As I would, you know, bring to the character what I know I would do as that character. I mean, most actors are portraying themselves under imaginary circumstances. And then there's some actors that are a character or a caricature like Arnold Schwarzenegger, so they're the same in every movie they do, you know, and that is just a character that they portray, but it's not who they are. So you know, it's very, very style tonight.
Raise money for. It is set up by JCIE, which is the Japanese Center for International Exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it right. And the fund is the Japan NGO Earthquake Relief and Recovery Fund. They set up, they're a nonprofit organization based in New York, and they set up a fund that donates to, is it 5 or 6 Japanese? 6 Japanese nonprofits working in Japan on the ground for recovery and relief efforts. It was kind of a big deal when we held our first event. We had to decide where the money was going to, and at that time, the Japanese government hadn't officially asked for help from a lot of these big charity organizations, like the Red Cross or whatever. They were all putting aside money, but there was no guarantee that it was going to get to where we wanted to get. Okay, so in terms of, this is like what you can do. We have a link at weheartjapan.com, and there's a donate button, so you really can donate anytime. It's not, you know, it's not like you have to go to an event to donate or anything. If you tag us, that would be nice, just so that they know that it's, you know, that we're helping to raise money. And then in terms of volunteering, we have a sign-up sheet at the booth at events. Sometimes we need volunteers if you want to do that, or you want to get more involved on an organizational level, that's cool too. Because all of us involved, we all have daytime jobs, and there's a lot of things that are not glamorous about running a charity organization. You know, calling up vendors, finding out pricing of things. Pinguino does really great. She calls, like every event that we have, we get it sponsored. So she'll call up beverage companies. Hey, we're having an event. It's going to be this many people. Can you donate to us? Like all of that kind of work. We need people to do. Even like accounting too. It's just some less glamorous thing. But if you're interested in volunteering, like Aaron is here helping out. Please email us or sign up. There's a sign-in sheet at our booth. And just follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And the main thing too is just like spreading the word to your friends, because when we do have an event, it's always like at a huge risk to us. We spend a lot of time and effort, and it costs money. So we always want to make sure that enough people show up, because if it doesn't make enough money, like then we're not, you know, we're not raising enough money. And it's really important now, I think, too, because some time has passed. And after any tragedy event, Katrina, Haiti, like immediately when it happens, you know, everyone's really concerned and they donate stuff. And then as time goes by, people forget about it and they're not not as likely to give. And, you know, times are tough, I totally understand. So just spreading the word and kind of keeping it alive in people's minds, that they know that there's still a lot to be done, is important for us.
Yeah, we sure know how to stick it to them. They never stood a chance.
And to think, we could have almost failed with the work of my skills as a member of the witch class.
Oh, excuse me? I don't think so, little miss. Your class ain't all that special.
Yeah, I'm with him. If you had eyes that work, you know that clearly the fighter class is the best. Could you hold this for a second? Thanks. Look, fighting is in my nature. I bet if you even took the time to just... I'll just take that back now. See what I mean? Clearly the strongest here.
Don't claim victory yet. As a ninja, I can swiftly move around enemies, eliminate my targets in the dead of night, and get away without making a sound. I doubt if you can even stay quiet for more than 2 seconds. That's loud enough, of course.
Why, you dirty...
See what I mean?
Alright. Keep your bridges on and hold down. Now what you were all forgetting is that one of us stole a cold kill. A master of blind speed. And the king of the drop. Zoom zoom! That is gun, of course.
That's all well and good, and you all raise valid points, but it's as clear as day to see who is the best between us.
It's me, of course. Huh? You deadhead? What? How dare you? How dare I? Why Oh God, that's great shit. Finally me. Jennifer, Thursday, let's get to work.
Alright, differences aside, we should put this behind us and work together to get rid of him. Alright, shh, be very, very quiet. We're hunting Gordon.
This is Kay, and we're here with...
Unlimited Cosplay Works.
Okay. Well, this was the group that won the best presentation. How did you guys feel while you were preparing this?
I just wanted to do something. I always love doing masquerade skits. I've been wanting to do this guy a costume, and if I'm gonna go to a convention with a new costume, I gotta put on a show. So.
How did you feel about the other cosplayers?
Yeah, they were all really beautiful, especially the Jellyfish Princess one was really pretty, and I love the series, so it was really cool to see a really live interpretation of the series, and that was really cool.
The craftsmanship level was really nice, or at least from what you can see, and it was just great because at masquerades you see the best of the best and people who want to put their best foot forward, and so it's a great show for that reason.
All right, well, out of curiosity, how long did it take you each to get these costumes together?
I'll go. Actually, there are 2 costumes that I had made. The 4th member of our skit is off changing, but both of our costumes I made within a month, so I started them at the beginning of October, and I finished them a day before PMX.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she made both my costume and her costume.
They took about 2 weeks combined of non-stop work.
Wow, well, obviously, with the work put into it and the fact that you have that award, it's obviously proof that all your effort paid off. So congratulations. Thank you very much.
We started this group, it's really actually fairly new because we started it June 15th. We all kind of came together and we said, well, we all cosplay, we all go to conventions, we all see each other all the time. Why don't we make a group and match and promote our nerdy, geeky video game, gamer girl world, and also just cosplay whoever we want to be. We don't want to be, I don't want to be Black Jasmine right now. I just want to be Jasmine, not Black Jasmine. She doesn't have to be Black Panty right now. She's just Panty. It's not, it's not, we don't need a label in front of it first based on our ethnicity, and not just, it's not just black and white, it's all ethnicities across, across the board. It's not just Asians can cosplay, everyone can cosplay, we all have fun, we all do it. It's not just for young kids or, young teenagers. I mean, I see adults in the audience. Yeah, see, he's nodding, he's like, yes, right. It's just for, it's for adults as well. It's not just, kids, it's not just gender. You can do a gender bender, you can cross-dress, cross-play, however you want to call it, and it still works out and people still know your character, and it shouldn't be only girls can cross-dress and not men, because there's a lot of, cosplayers that are men and they do females and they look really good and you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. And you just meet and you start talking to just different people just based on their costume or just based on just interests, they're just from this video game, so obviously they like it or they played through it or whatever. And it's oh, you like Assassin's Creed? Okay, well, let's talk now. And you find out you have even more in common. You like this game, you like, this TV show or whatever, what have you. And you just build this bond that we have, and we all kind of feel at home at with brightly colored wigs on and brightly colored costumes of our favorite characters. And we know that we have all the normal people here coming from out of town looking at us like what's going on, but we feel at home and we feel like we're normal and that we can just have fun with just everybody that we meet and all the experiences that we have at the different conventions, because you always meet someone new, some new experience happens, and it's just always awesome and great. And there doesn't need to be any drama with cosplay because, of course not. Yeah, because it's all make believe and we're having fun. And at the end of the day, we do have to go back to our 9 to 5, job, or 9 to 5 and 6 to 10 or whatever jobs, and to support this hobby, because it is a very expensive hobby. For those who do cosplay at every con or go to every convention or get hotel rooms and get the wig, and then you maybe plane tickets and everything else, and it starts adding up, and you actually try not to think about, I try not to think about how much I spent on conventions and buy merchandise and things, but like I said, there doesn't need to be any drama. We can just all have fun and enjoy ourselves. So I was in cosplay, stopped for a sobriety test, and the cop came over and he looked at me very strangely. It was dark out, so he shined the light in my car, and he just looked at me very strangely, and he looked at my outfit, shined the light on my outfit, saying like, what are you doing? Why are you dressed like this? So I'm sitting in the car, because it's hard to explain, I guess I could have said a costume party or something, but of course you don't think of this thing. So I started saying I'm a ninja from Naruto, and we're like, yeah, I really did. And I'm a girl, I'm a guy, but dressed as a girl, because that's what he does. And he's like, oh, okay, was everybody dressed like this at this thing? I was like, no. There's guys, and then there's girls, and there's guy ninjas and female ninjas, and that's how it works. And he's just like, oh, so we're guys dressed like this? I'm like, no. There's different ones. I don't know if you've seen Naruto, but it's like ninjas, and they fight each other. And then I was thinking, wait, this doesn't really, I shouldn't have explained this. And he's like, okay, well, you could tell I wasn't drunk. He just gave me back my license and said, okay, well, have a good night. I'm like, okay, well, awesome.
Hi, this is Maestro Please, and I am here with these three beautiful ladies. They're part of Chocolate Covered Cosplay. So what is your mission statement?
Our mission statement is to promote through open and honest dialogue, yes. To promote cosplay for all people, no matter what their race, their color, shape, or size. We are a group of 6 and wonderful black ladies, just being ourselves and allowing ourselves to do whatever we like, no matter what.
So who are you cosplaying as today?
Today I'm actually doing Princess Jasmine from Aladdin.
And I am Panty from Panty and Stocking.
And I'm X23 from X-Men.
All right. So any future or upcoming plans for Chocolate Covered Cosplay?
Well, I know right now that we're working on doing some events with other groups such as Tune in Tokyo. We're also working with other places like Meltdown Comics and other places in the nerd community that we really would like to be a part of. Yeah.
So how did this group get started up in the first place?
Well, this is a good one for all of us. I say that we met each other at anime kanji, different cons like that, and then all of a sudden I just sort of noticed everyone online. I was like, hey, you guys are awesome. I feel like we should capitalize on being awesome black ladies who cosplay, who are sweet and nice.
So any plans in along the line, in let's say 5 years?
Wow, 5 years. Oh yeah, when we Ginger.
When we take over the world. Yeah, well, we are planning to do a calendar for next year, so 2012. It's going to be a very sexy, classy calendar, so you can put it on your wall. You don't have to take it to the bathroom. I know, I just had to throw that in there. We're also planning a lot of upcoming group cosplays together. We want to do a Fran group. We want to do a Silent Hill, something really goth and scary, because for Danielle, our goth girl, right there. We want to do something for her. And in 5 years, you know, I think we just want to have our group grow and kind of be like all over and be known and help other cosplayers who are afraid to do that character, that certain character, or whatever, and let them just know that they can do that character and they don't have to feel bad about it, or they don't have to feel like they can't do it just because of their skin color or even just their gender or what have you. You can do whatever you want, and it's a lot of fun, and people will see the character and not the color of your skin first. So we hope to just promote that down the line 5 years from now, besides taking over the world.
We can have like really cool booths and stuff. Maybe we'll be selling things by then, or like have like some sort of trade and like, oh, we make costumes. You can buy chocolate covered costumes or whatever. Just a way to be like a larger name in our community that we have now, and some way that we can make monies and make this a life. We won't have to go to other jobs anymore.
All right. So any cosplaying tips for anyone?
The right material, please. Satin is not an excuse. Stop doing it. It doesn't it's cheap. It's not made right. It's woven. It frays, and stop doing it. The best thing to do is pick a really nice fabric. That having woven fabrics are great as long as they're nice and tight woven, and that way that they consistently they're not gonna really fray too much. Like you can serge the edges really easily, or you can stitch them around. Like really thin fabrics, and also like they like to shatter into pieces as well. So like picking your fabric is like the most important thing, and also think about the costume and how it's gonna lay. Like with using this, I knew I was gonna do lots of gatherings, so I wanted to have something that knew that if I pressed it with the hot iron, it's going to come out really nice. Like these pleats aren't going to happen unless I can really kick an iron to it. So you just pick a fabric that you know is going to press nicely. It's going to have really clean lines. Like some fabrics don't want to do this or that. You know, you wouldn't pick a really loose fabric if you wanted to do something like this. You want to pick something that's nice and tight so that it lays right. There you go.
All right, well, thank you, and I hope you ladies have a wonderful con. All right?
Thank you.
For love and justice, a sailor-suited pretty soldier, Sailor Moon. In the name of the moon, I'll punish you with dancing.
Oh, that was
Stop dancing! Is everyone okay? Yes, that's great! Okay, let's all dance together now!
This is Kay, and we're here with Cosplay 2001, aka Kimmy X Kimmy.
All right, and obviously you are cosplaying a very iconic character. What do you have to say about her, and how long did it take to make you this costume?
I really love Sailor Moon, especially the live action version, the Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon. And for the past, I don't know when it came out, 5 years, I really wanted this costume. So finally last year I decided I would make it with a friend who's making the Mercury, and probably took us maybe a month or something to make. I mean, we work on during the weekends together, and probably about a month to make.
All right, cool. So what do you have to say about the presentation you did?
I hope everybody realized we were gypped out of Best in Show because we put a lot of hard work in our choreography. You can tell the audio was really clear. We had to yell across stage, which was really difficult. And hopefully people recognize the classics of music in Dance Dance Revolution from circa First Mixed Butterfly. Yeah, I mean.
All right. Well, what do you have to say to future cosplayers out there who want some advice?
Don't copy my skit at all. Do the opposite of my skit. Everything opposite. And I guess don't take it too serious because, I don't know, yeah, don't do that.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time and congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
Thanks.